The sun was just beginning to sink behind the red cliffs when Caleb Hart noticed the footprints. They were small, lighter than a woman's, barely pressing into the dust beside the creek. He reined in his horse and leaned down, fingers brushing the ground. Child's tracks. Barefoot. Fresh. Caleb hadn't seen a child in these parts in years. Not since the Apache raids slowed and settlers either moved farther west or stayed close to town. This land was empty now, empty in the way only the frontier could be, where silence felt heavier than noise. He followed the tracks slowly, rifle loose in his hand, eyes scanning the cottonwoods. The wind shifted, carrying the faint smell of smoke. Not campfire smoke, burnt wood, sharp and bitter. Trouble. He found the boy crouched beneath a fallen tree, thin arms wrapped around his knees, dark hair tangled with dust and twigs. The child's eyes snapped up, white and black as night, filled with terror. He couldn't have been more than 8. Caleb froze. He'd faced outlaws, bandits, even Apache warriors in full war paint, but this was different. The boy didn't run. He didn't scream. He just stared, waiting for whatever came next. Caleb slowly set his rifle against the tree and raised both hands. "Easy, son," he said softly. "I ain't gonna hurt you." The boy didn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. Still, his body trembled. Caleb noticed the blood dried on the child's arm, the torn leather cord around his neck, the symbol etched into a small wooden charm, Apache. The boy flinched when Caleb took a step closer. "I reckon you're alone," Caleb murmured, scanning the woods again. "Ain't safe out here." The boy shook his head once, fiercely, as if denying the word alone itself. His lips moved, whispering something in Apache, fast, desperate. Caleb sighed. "Yeah, I don't speak that." He took off his hat and knelt, lowering himself to the boy's level. From his saddlebag, he pulled a strip of jerky and held it out, palm open. The boy hesitated, eyes flicking from the food to Caleb's face, searching for lies. Hunger won. He snatched it and backed away, chewing like someone afraid the meal might vanish. Caleb smiled faintly. "Name's Caleb," he said, tapping his chest. "You got a name." The boy swallowed and pointed to himself. "Taza." Caleb repeated it. "Taza. All right then." He noticed the smoke again, darker now. Whatever had happened to the boy's people hadn't happened long ago. Caleb stood, tension creeping into his spine. "Come with me," he said gently, gesturing to the horse. "I got water. Shelter." Taza shook his head, panic flaring. He backed deeper into the brush. Caleb paused. He knew what he represented, a white man, a cowboy, the enemy his people warned him about. Caleb couldn't blame him. Then the sound came. Hooves. Multiple riders. Fast. Taza's eyes widened in terror. He whispered a word over and over, a word Caleb didn't know but understood all the same. "Soldiers." Caleb muttered. He grabbed the boy's wrist, not rough, but firm. "We gotta move. Now." Taza tried to pull free, fear turning to fury, but the riders were too close. Caleb lifted him onto the horse in one swift motion and swung up behind him, digging his heels in. They rode hard through the trees, branches whipping at their faces. Behind them, voices shouted. English voices. Caleb cursed under his breath. They didn't stop until night fully swallowed the land. Caleb guided the horse into a narrow canyon, hidden from the main trail. He slid down and helped Taza off, offering water. The boy drank greedily, then looked at Caleb with confusion, and something like gratitude. Caleb started a small fire, shielding the flame with stones. "You're safe for now," he said, though he wasn't sure it was true. Taza pointed at the fire, then to the sky, making a sweeping motion. He spoke quickly, eyes dark with grief. Caleb listened anyway. He didn't need to understand the words to feel the weight of them. Something terrible had happened. A village burned. People lost. Caleb stared into the flames, jaw tight. He'd seen this before. Too many times. He knew the soldiers who rode these lands didn't ask questions first. He slept lightly that night, rifle across his chest, waking at every sound. At dawn, he found Taza awake, staring east, lips moving in quiet prayer. Caleb felt something shift inside him then, a pull he didn't want to name. 4 days passed like that. Traveling by hidden paths. Avoiding trails. Caleb fed the boy, bandaged his arm, taught him a few English words. Taza taught him hand signs, small smiles breaking through the fear. On the 4th day, Destiny finally caught up with them. They reached a shallow valley just as thunder rolled, not from the sky, but from hooves. A line of cavalry appeared on the ridge, blue coats gleaming. Behind them rode men with rifles, scouts, bounty hunters. Caleb stopped dead. The captain raised a hand. "That boy," he called out. "He's Apache. We've been tracking him." Taza pressed against Caleb's side, shaking. Caleb's hand tightened on his rifle. "He's a child," he said. "He ain't done nothing." The captain's eyes were cold. "Orders are orders. That village he came from attacked a supply train." Caleb laughed bitterly. "You burned it first. I smelled the smoke." The air went still. "Hand him over," the captain said, voice hardening. "Or you'll be charged with aiding the enemy." Caleb looked down at Taza. The boy met his gaze, fear giving way to something deeper, trust. Caleb exhaled slowly. "No," he said. The captain nodded once. "So be it." Rifles were raised. Caleb stepped forward, placing himself fully in front of Taza. "You'll have to go through me." For a heartbeat, the world held its breath. Then a horn echoed from the hills. Not cavalry. Not settlers. Apache war horns. From every ridge, figures emerged, warriors painted and armed, silent as ghosts. They hadn't attacked. They had followed. Waiting. The captain swore. An older Apache man rode forward, eyes locked on Taza. The boy broke from Caleb's side and ran to him, crying out. The man dismounted and pulled him close, grief and relief etched deep into his face. Caleb lowered his rifle slowly. The old man looked at him then. Studied him. After a long moment, he placed a hand over his heart and bowed his head. The captain realized too late he was outnumbered. They withdrew without firing a shot. As the dust settled, the Apache elder approached Caleb. He spoke slowly, in broken English. "You protect our child. You choose honor." Caleb swallowed. He deserved a chance. The elder nodded. "So do you." When the Apache rode away, Taza looked back one last time. He lifted his hand in farewell. Caleb stood alone in the valley, heart heavier, and lighter, than it had been in years. He didn't know what destiny still held for him. But he knew this was only the beginning.